every child, every brother that's caught in the crossfire. That's caught.
Hello everyone, Jason Leia back here again, and today we'll be talking about the top 10 worst films of 2018. This video is a little late. I've just been really busy with other stuff lately, but now I feel like I'm able to talk about some of the worst films I have seen this year. I mean last year. Now, 2018 had been a pretty interesting year for movies. It's sort of been mostly divided. A lot of people like a lot of movies, but a lot of people didn't. There are some movies that people like that others didn't, like Solo or Jurassic World. Ready Player One and Aquaman, I think, got a bit of that. Yeah, this last year has been really divisive. But these are just my personal picks of the 10 worst of them all. Now, these filmmakers probably worked their asses off to make the best movie they can, and I have, in no disrespect goes to any of these directors that probably worked hard on these movies. It is hard to make a really good movie. I learned that lesson a long time ago. But whether it's just studio decisions or a very bad script they were given, it was just a result of a failure. So we're going to start off with the dishonorable mentions. And these are the films that I think are disappointing. Only I didn't like them, but they weren't as bad to make it to this list, and thank God for that. So, Fantastic Beasts: The Crime of Grindelwald, Slender Man, and Mortal Engines. These movies were basically the epitome of disappointment. They weren't terrible, but they had so much potential going in for them, and it just did not work. But these are the movies that completely dropped the ball. So start off at number 10, we got The Predator. Jesus Christ, oh my god. The Predator was the epitome of definite studio decisions, trying to be Marvel, but doesn't know what its franchise truly means for its audience and filmmakers. It tried to be a funny road trip comedy, a fun monster movie, but with such drastic tones, a muddled script, it just plummeted to the ground to failure. The only thing I liked were a couple of jokes, a fine action sequence near the middle of the movie. But overall, this film was a definite disappointment, and it just brought a tear to my eye. Not in a good way. Coming up at number 9, we got Solo: A Star Wars Story. I know a lot of people enjoyed this movie. Trust me, it's fine if you enjoy Solo. All power to you. To me, this movie was just forgettable. I completely forgot this movie was relevant, especially when, considering the box office, the movie was the first disappointment. It did not make any money back. In fact, it made less money than Justice League, and we know how that movie turned out. But yeah, aside from a few fine action sequences, fine special effects, the movie just doesn't have much going for it. And the characters, especially Han, they just were so forgettable. And that's all I could say about the movie. It's nothing truly awful, but I can't remember a single thing. Not a single good direction, not a single good cinematography. I'm pretty sure that the cinematography was dark anyway, for me to remember anything, but yeah. It was definitely one of the worst movies this year. Coming up at number 8, in my opinion, we got Godzilla and the City on the Edge of Battle. This movie was like, I did not really enjoy the first one. I mean, I thought it was fine. I thought it was passable. But going into this one, I was hoping for it to be a little better. It just was worse. I will say that at least the action and animation were still good. But aside from that, the characters and storyline I could give a shit less about. And honestly, I completely forgot what this movie is even about. Like, right after the movie was over, I was like, I'll just go about my day. I'm pretty sure it was about one of the main characters trying to get revenge on Godzilla, trying to destroy him again, and it didn't work. It was like the first one, but tried to have more stuff in it. And I think that kind of got into this list. Just a really forgettable movie. These movies are just forgettable right now, is what I'm saying. But when we get closer to the list, we'll be getting into the truly awful ones that are memorable for all the wrong reasons. Coming up at number 7, we got A Wrinkle in Time. Now, this movie had potential. It really did. It just, one, it came out during Black Panther, which is probably the biggest mistake it did not see coming. And 2, the directing was bland, and coming off from Selma to this type of movie, I think Ava DuVernay should just stick with much smaller movies. I don't think these big sci-fi movies are her thing. I think she just stick to smaller films. I think that's where she's at home at. Like Selma, if you've seen the movie, it's great. I recommend it. I think that's where she really hits it. Her vision here, it just did not work. I did not care about the characters. The special effects were passable at best. There's just nothing for this movie to really stick out. And I just really did not like the direction it gone at. There were a lot of plot points that did not make sense. There were weird decisions by the characters, and it just was a total failure for me. I didn't care about this movie one bit. Coming up at number 6, we have Ocean's 8. I hate this movie. I mean, the actors try, and sometimes they do a good job. But the story is forgettable, and it's basically 2018's Ghostbusters. They try to be more feminine, but the movie did not have the same heart, soul, or fun that the other Ocean's movies had. And even the worst of them, like 2, 3, they might not be as good as the first, but they did have that fun and levity to them. This movie lost all of that, and I just didn't care about the characters again. They were all completely bland as hell, and the script just felt like copy and paste from the first. And I was eager to leave the theater. This movie angered me. I hated it more than Ghostbusters, and we know how that movie turned out. But yeah, this is the 2018 Ghostbusters. That's not Ghostbusters. It's just another property trying to push females in, and it just did not work once again. Coming up at number 5, we got Pacific Rim Uprising. Now, cool action aside, did anyone remember this movie? Just really. Who remembers Pacific Rim Uprising? Nobody. I bet it did make number 1 at the box office, but aside from that, this is the bland sequel that just did not live up to the original. And the original wasn't actually great. It wasn't fantastic movie making. It was a fun action film. This movie tried to be more fun, but it became more cringy. The humor and the characters were annoying. The script was again muddled and convoluted. The action was fine and special effects were there, but it's just another blockbuster that just put to the side as a really terrible sequel that did not really need to happen. So yeah, Pacific Rim Uprising, disappointing as hell in this list. Coming up in number 4, we got The Nun. This is like, oh my god. How could I describe The Nun actually? It's a Conjuring spin-off, but in the Annabelle side of things. Not the good Annabelle, the bad one. It is convoluted as hell. The special effects and horror stuff, jump scares, it just gets annoying. These characters are just cardboard cutouts that are waiting to be killed, and as a exorcism type of film, it just did not work at all. And I did not need a backstory for The Nun. Nobody did. Why does everything need a backstory these days? Because it will make money. That's why. And this movie really shows that. This movie was terrible, and I don't recommend. You gotta go see it. Though it did make money, so you already have seen it. Coming up in number 3, we got The Possession of Hannah Grace. Now, the filmmakers did try to make a good movie. I could see that. But it just, to me, another bad movie that I could just look aside. I hate it, but for some reason, I could probably look past it, which is even worse. I completely forgot about this movie. I don't remember a single frame. I only try to look back at what I can't remember that I at least like. I don't think I remember. I think I liked one part in the movie, which is like a cool practical effect. But aside from that, the characters were completely forgettable. The story, I'll try to be simple. It just became really dragged on. This is a really boring movie, and that's the worst thing you could do to me when I go to a film, is that you can bore me. And this movie was boring. So it's lower on my list for that. Number 2, Truth or Dare. Horror movies are not getting the spotlight they deserved last year, now that I'm thinking about it. Truth or Dare was it's so bad, but I love it for some reason. The characters suck, the stories suck, the horror elements were laughable. It's like a movie so bad you can have fun with it. And there are so many weird stuff that try to be scary, but in the end, it just comes across as laughably bad. Oh my god, this movie is special. It is there's nothing right about this movie at all. Not a single thing is done correctly in this film. It is a total train wreck. But nothing compared to number 1. You probably already guessed it. 50 Shades Freed. Finally the series ended. My god, I wanted it. I wanted it to end for such a long time. I did not want to review the first one. The second one I had to because I got like 1,000 subscribers, and I felt like I need to watch as many movies as I can. And finally the series is over. I can no longer review these films. Hallelujah. This is like thank God it did not split into 2 parts. I would have been like, you know what? kill me. But yeah, this movie is like what you expect. Bad characterization, a bad and manipulative romance, terrible acting, it's not even sexy. It is laughable in a few moments. The plot doesn't make sense. It would jump to a different plot point than what it tried to focus on. And it's not a completely focused movie. It doesn't know what it wants to be. And at the end, it just became a total mess. And for that reason, it is, in my opinion, the worst film of the year. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my torture. Please like, subscribe, comment. More videos are coming soon. And I will see you guys next time.
So heaven, if you sent us there